Hello, fellow Crusaders, and welcome to another episode. My name's Sean Waskrug. With me, as always, is Brian Michaels, and we have a very special early review for our most anticipated film of the summer, one of our more anticipated films of the year. Whether it's a good anticipation or a bad anticipation, we are talking about Jurassic World Rebirth. Yes, it does not come out till July 2nd, and it is not July 2nd. It is early, and we are talking about this because Brian and I both got to watch this last night. For people who don't know or wonder how the hell did you guys get to watch it early, certain theaters, Cinemark for me, AMC for Brian. I wish I had AMC near me. Not every Monday.
Regal, Harkins, they all do these things. So,
well, my local theater doesn't. So, because I would just went there. Not every Monday, but for usually about a few Mondays a month.
Times a month, yeah.
Yeah, they'll do this secret movie thing where basically you pay like $5 a ticket, so it's a cheap ticket, and you go to the theater and you're gonna watch a movie, but you do not know what the movie is until it starts. But leaks happen, and also Brian and I are both in the Central time zone, so by 6 o'clock, we find out from the East Coast what the movie is ahead of time. But Brian found out on Saturday that the secret movie was going to be Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, in terms of the secret movie thing, which has been going on since 2024, really, they don't tend to do the big movies. I think the biggest movie they've done before this was, I think, Gladiator 2.
Gladiator is like the only other one that I would consider like a blockbuster that they did. Everything else tends to be the smaller films they kind of want to get some word of mouth on. A lot of them, especially early on, they were putting like Apple TV movies on there a lot, Amazon original movies on there a lot. I mean, stuff that was going to get theatrical release but limited. And then like recently they had done Life of Chuck. They did Drop recently. But yeah,
they did Novocaine. They did Companion.
Yeah, but this is only a second, like what I call a big film.
Yeah, they don't normally do one of the biggest films of the summer 8-9 days early than its release date. But Brian heard word of mouth, and I think everyone, once he told me, I looked it up, I was like, oh shit. And we were going to get Jurassic World early. And
yeah, there were some strong rumors, and then like even on like the Jurassic Park like social media, there were these little videos from like the director and cast going, "Ooh, there's a secret coming on Monday," and which pretty much
it's Monday. Stop, it's secret. No, but it is Monday though, right? But so naturally, Brian and I rushed and got our tickets right away for this, and we were like, "Wouldn't this suck if we did this and it ended up not being Jurassic World?" I was like, "So many people are going to either walk out of this movie right away, or they're gonna hate the movie
on the East Coast."
Yeah, or they're gonna hate the movie that we're watching unfairly because it's not Jurassic World. But yeah, so it ended up being Jurassic World Rebirth. They had at least on my theater, I'm pretty sure you probably did too. Right before the movie started, Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey popped up on screen, and they played into it beautifully. They were like, "We know you guys are watching a secret movie. Guess what? You guys are the first ones." We weren't, because there was a early release whatever stuff a few days ago saying you're the very, very first people who are going to be able to watch this movie. We're so excited for you, which got me amped up. I was like, all right, like they sold this well. I get it's their job, but they sold me well on it. But this is our non-spoiler, and we're going to have a spoiler discussion for Jurassic World Rebirth. Before we jump into it, let's go on our little journey that Brian and I have had over the course of probably 15 months? About 14, 15 months. So quick reboot. Everyone knows Jurassic Park, along with Jaws, are probably my two favorite movies of all time, which I totally forgot that it was the 50th anniversary of Jaws, and then I just got littered with Jaws crap over the last couple of days. So I was going to hold off and watch Jaws till 4th of July because it's a 4th of July movie, but now it's like I feel like I need to watch it now. But Jurassic Park is the movie that made me fall in love with movies. It's the one movie that I can watch over and over again and will always make me feel like a kid again watching that film. But that also means that I am one of the harshest fucking critics when it comes to this franchise. I thoroughly enjoyed Lost World. I actually love it for what it is, and a lot of people like to bash it because of the last act in San Diego. I actually enjoyed that.
That's one of my favorite parts of the movie.
I thought it was good. I love that.
I wanted the whole movie to be that, honestly.
Yeah, the third one is utter fucking garbage. And I won't go into the reasons why. But if you guys have watched our shows, you guys know why I hate 3 for one particular reason. 2 technically. Then we went a decade or about few years, about what, 12 years, I think.
2001 to 2015.
So a few years, 14 years. We got Jurassic World, which I really enjoyed. I really, really liked Jurassic World and what they did with it. Then we got Fallen Kingdom, which I fucking despise. Then we got Jurassic World Dominion, which was like, okay, but I didn't love. So I was ready to just be done with the Jurassic franchise. Hey, they ended the series. You know, none of the original characters or from both trilogies are coming back. If they're gonna do it, it's gonna be a complete reboot. Or they're just gonna do maybe something totally different. I also clamoring for Dino Riders, just so we could have a different dinosaur movie that wasn't fucking Jurassic Park. But then all of a sudden they're like, hey, we're doing another Jurassic World movie, and it's gonna be out next summer. And we haven't started yet. We don't have a director yet. We don't have a cast yet. And then they announced
David Leitch.
David Leitch as director, who's someone we both really, really enjoy. We're like, oh shit, a David Leitch Jurassic Park? Fuck yeah. We're like, wait, there's no way he's gonna get this done in 13 months. And you're right. And he fucking left. And then they're like,
he was probably like, there's no way I can get this done in 13 months, motherfuckers.
And they're like, okay, bye. We'll bring in Gareth Edwards, which once again, a director we like. Godzilla, which I know a lot of people like. I know Brian's not a big fan of the first Godzilla film. I actually really, really like that. He also did Rogue One, who I really, really love. I'm not sure, Brian, how are you on Rogue One?
Yeah, I love Rogue One.
Yeah, you love Rogue One. And then of course you love The Creator. I still haven't watched The Creator. Yeah. So a director that we really, really love, but we're also worried because once again, he's a director who wants to take his time, build his story, build his creation from his films. And we felt like he was kind of just being hired on to be a name that people trust and go, here's your script. Don't deviate from this. Go. Which we're like, this doesn't feel like this is fair to Gareth Edwards. So it's like, yay, but I don't know if I trust this. Then they got Scarlett Johansson, which I was like, okay, I love Scarlett Johansson, but I don't know if I like her for a Jurassic movie. Then they kind of round out the rest of the cast. Mahershala Ali, another person we love. Jonathan Bailey, who was just coming off Wicked, which I loved him in Wicked. I don't know if Brian really cared for him in Wicked or not.
He is fine. And then this was before Wicked came out, but I'm sure people in charge had seen his work in it though. But yeah.
Yeah, and then Rupert Friend. Is it Friend? I know he's British, so I don't want to say it's wrong. Is it Friend? Yeah. Okay. It's one of those things where it clearly is Friend. It's Friend or something like that, and then I feel like a jackass. But it's one of those things where everything felt so rushed. And the last time a Jurassic movie was rushed, or at least felt rushed, it was Jurassic Park 3, which was an under 90-minute film that some people like. I fucking hate. Brian is not a fan of Jurassic Park 3.
Well, I'll rewind just a little bit. I'm going to give you my very brief thought. I enjoy all the Jurassic Park movies to different degrees.
I can enjoy them to different degrees too, but when something fucking goes wrong, I go off the handle.
Yeah, three is definitely my weakest of the bunch, but I still do enjoy 3. It's not like I hate the movie like you do. I still find some enjoyment in 3, but it's the one I watch the least. It's the one that I definitely think is the bottom of the list. And then the Jurassic World movies, I actually liked all 3 of those more than most people, honestly. But yeah, 3 is definitely kind of the bottom one. Because it felt like you said, it was short. It felt rushed. It felt like there wasn't necessarily a complete script there, and yeah.
And they pwned the fucking T-Rex in 86 seconds. Fuck you, Jurassic Park people, for that. And the talking raptor, Alan, fuck off. Honestly, if Jurassic Park 3 is on TV, I actually can sit down and watch that. It's just I'm gonna be agitated when certain parts pop on. Fallen Kingdom, I can watch the first hour of that. I cannot watch once it becomes dinosaurs in a mansion. That is literally the worst hour of Jurassic Park in all the franchise. I fucking hate that whole last hour. The first hour thoroughly was like, okay, here we go. Basically, as soon as you killed the Brachiosaurus that you claim was in the first Jurassic Park, fuck you for that, by the way. Pretty much at that point on, fuck you, Fallen Kingdom. Dominion, the fucking locusts, man.
Yeah,
And-
take out the Locust storyline, and as much as I love seeing them, take out the OG3, and it's a much better movie.
But it was also one thing is they promised us something and then didn't deliver. They promised us dinosaurs in the real world. Oh shit. And they're like, no, we're gonna give you like a CNN newscast for the first 5-10 minutes, and then we're gonna go back to status quo. And it's like, don't fucking promise us something and then just not deliver it. And which is why Dominion pisses me off. It's not collectively a bad Jurassic World movie, but with all that shit in there, I don't want to watch it because it's just like, no, you guys sold us bad goods at that point. So coming into Jurassic World Rebirth, we saw the first trailer, teaser, what have you. Neither one of us
did nothing for me.
It did nothing for us. If anything, it made us more worried about the movie going into it. And like I said, I said this on many episodes. I think I said it to the anticipated for the year. We talked about it on the summer show. We talked about it numerous times on Movie Crusaders chat about whenever this and Scream 7 has been on our minds profusely. And we have talked about ad nauseum forever. And all I kept saying is I'm going to go in with the lowest of expectations for this movie. I am not confident in this film. I am not expecting to like this movie. But oh my God, if this sucks, it's going to break my heart. And please don't fucking hurt me again. I can't take any more hurt from this fucking franchise. So, like I said, going into this, I was going to it going, hey, yes, I'm going to go see Jurassic World tonight. I'm excited that I'm getting to see it early. But the whole time I'm like driving there and I'm like, Sean, stop. Don't get excited. Don't get excited. Don't stop. You're just seeing the movie. Yes, it's got dinosaurs in it, but don't get excited. And then ScarJo and Jonathan Bailey got on screen and they hyped up the crowd. And then the movie started and I was like, God damn it, I'm fucking excited. Like, God damn it, Sean, you couldn't keep your composure. Because as soon as the first scene happened, I was like, and I was like, please don't let me lose this moment. Please don't let me lose this feeling. Please don't. Were you able to keep your composure low for this? Like you had, or did you lose it by the time you got to the theater?
No, my expectations have been fair. I don't want to say low. I've tempered expectations because it's like we already were kind of iffy about the whole, rushing the movie out and things like that. And then the trailers, like I said, didn't do much for me. Everything, they've been trying to hype up since then has kind of been like, eh. So it's like, if I was going purely by the marketing materials, I'd have been like, don't really care about this movie. But being a Jurassic World movie, I'm like, okay, I know the franchise. I like it. So I definitely can see it. I'm excited to some extent to see it, but I definitely kept my expectations low.
All right. So long story long, let's jump into this. Like I said, this is the non-spoiler. So we are going to do our best to tiptoe through this motherfucker. And then once we get through this, we'll go to spoiler. Unlike other spoiler conversations, we know a fuck ton of you have not seen this yet. So, please, I beg you, if you guys want to know our thoughts on this, and you want to know the spoiler aspects, just come back and watch this after you go see the movie, and on this first or second, whether or not you go see it. Don't get spoiled from us. We're going to give you the disclaimer.
You can watch this first section. We'll tell you when we're going to go into the spoiler section. So
yeah, and plus it's time-stamped, guys. So it's like, we're going to give you as non-spoiler as we can, and because we got plenty of things we want to get off our chest and talk about when it comes to the spoiler aspect. But guys, this is 9 days out. I don't want to say don't watch us, but it's like, don't, unless you just really don't fucking care. Okay, fine. But don't watch us talk about everything that we're going to talk about and then go watch the movie and go, well, fuck, Sean and Brian spoiled the movie. Like, this is your warning, okay?
You're warned.
Because it's like I said, it's not like the movie's already out right now and we're like, well, you could have watched it already. No, we know a lot of you did not see it last night like we did. So let's go into the non-spoiler. Brian, obviously you're gonna go first. So,
I'm going to go first.
Yeah, of course you're gonna go first because
we have not shared our thoughts with each other at all. Although
I have no idea what Brian thinks of this movie. He has no idea what I think about this movie.
Although from the tone of our texts, I think we both kind of know each other feel. So I went into this with low expectations. Still disappointed me. I found most of this movie boring as shit, especially the entire first hour. And even the action sequences, I was underwhelmed by. I didn't really feel. I mean, there are a couple moments here and there where I kind of like felt some energy and excitement, but for the most part, I think this, didn't really grab me. So as far as the pacing of the movie and everything, the story of the movie, I think, is kind of dumb. It's this fetch quest story, where, and then they add in this whole B plot with the family you may have seen in the trailers. Like I said, I won't go into details right now, but there's this whole B plot with this family that adds nothing to the movie. It just seems like they shoved them in there because they need to, like, I don't know, pad the running time or add more characters.
It adds the
you have to have the children in danger. You have to have that.
You have to have kids in danger. You have to have teenagers and kids in danger, and you got to have a family element to bring in the family. That's part of the Jurassic World and Park blueprint. So you have to have that.
So the story didn't do much for me. It didn't expand because, like you said, we're back into just the dinosaurs on an island again. This isn't adding anything new. It's going back to the old tried and true, just rehashing it again. They're just there for a different reason, supposedly this time. So the story didn't do anything for me. The characters did not care a shit about any of these characters. Scarlett Johansson, I thought, was a super bland lead. I didn't really like her at all. There's moments early on where, like, she was trying to be like quippy and funny, and I thought everything she was doing was falling flat. And then when things got serious, I didn't think she was, doing much for me there. The rest of the cast kind of like, whatever. They were just kind of there. Trying to think non-spoilery. Gareth Edwards, I think that it confirmed my fears that he was just a director for hire. I did not feel any of Gareth Edwards' personality or his style or anything infused into this movie. It just felt like any director you picked out of a hat could have directed it just the same as this. The title. Let's go to the title. Rebirth has no meaning. Nothing in this movie refers to any kind of rebirth. There's nothing that is any kind of rebirth. I don't know why it's called that, except their hopes of rebirthing, rejuvenating the franchise, maybe. But the title has no meaning to it. So
you're not wrong.
So long story short, in all the non-spoiler stuff I can say, I will just say that it's kind of disappointed me on pretty much every level. Did I hate the movie? No. It was okay, I guess. I didn't hate every moment I was sitting there, but I was just super disappointed, super underwhelmed, and it kind of made me think, I think it's time to finally, put a bull in the Jurassic franchise, unless they're going to really impress me next time, which I don't think they will. And I'm sure, and I know how Sean's in his abusive relationship where he keeps going back with hope, and then he just gets beat up again. And then, no, we swear we're different this time. We'll change. I swear, I promise. And they don't. But like I said, up until now, I've enjoyed all of the Jurassic Park movies and Jurassic World movies, including the last three. I really enjoyed all three of those. Even though, the last two had some flaws, but I still enjoyed them. This, for me, it's at least tied for the bottom spot with Jurassic 3. It might have beat it for the bottom spot on my list. I'll leave it at that. Sean, how do you feel?
The way you're talking is exactly how I felt after Dominion. Literally, the entire thing you said
love this movie. No.
Is exactly how I felt about Dominion. Is where I felt like they needed to kill the franchise. I felt like they needed to stop doing it. It just lost its luster. They don't know what they're doing anymore. That's how I felt with the last film. Going into this, like I said, I was fully prepared to have my heart broken. I was fully prepared to basically just be utterly disappointed. I feel exactly opposite of you.
Wow.
I had a fucking blast with this one.
Wow. Did not expect that.
The
only thing Sean said to me before this was, I have thoughts. And I'm like, okay, that sounds negative.
That was a total. I do have plenty of thoughts. Plenty of thoughts with this movie. And part of me was wondering, I was like, oh, Brian's gonna like this, and I was like, I wonder if I was like, what? Oh man, I was like, are we gonna have another Batman situation? where it's like, I really, really enjoy this, and Brian's just going to shit on it all year long. Because, yes, the Rebirth thing serves no fucking purpose in this title card. There was no reason to call it Rebirth, because other than just rebirthing the franchise. The real thinnest of not exposition, the real thinnest of a plot point of what the movie is, it's 5 years after Dominion. Because that was the thing too, was like, I didn't know if this was a continuation or if we were literally doing like a soft reboot. Like, I didn't know what we were getting with this. It is a continuation. It's 5 years after Dominion, and basically all the dinosaurs are starting to go extinct again because they can't handle our climate of today compared to who it was, when they were around. So
Except
all the
dinosaurs on the equator.
Yeah, but yeah, they're all kind of, for the most part, surviving near the equator because the weather down there is closest to what it was like when they were alive. So most of the dinosaurs have kind of flocked there or are living there, and there's still some dinosaurs around the world. Like there's one, in New York, but they are dying off. And so basically you have the main characters. You have Scarlett Johansson, who plays Zora Bennett, who's like a spec ops person. You have Jonathan Bailey, who's like, is he a paleontologist? I know he's Dr. Henry Loomis, but is he a paleontologist basically?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you got Rupert Friend, who plays Martin Cribbs, who's kind of like the corporate guy. And basically he's a pharmaceutical dude, and they basically need to go to this island, which apparently there's a third island now. It's not Isla Nublar, it's not Isla Sorna. It's this third island.
Another island. Wait.
Yeah, basically it's the island of Dr. Moreau. It's basically the island where they decided, hey, remember in Jurassic World when we decided to do the Indominus Rex and the Indoraptor, and we decided to fuck with all the genes there? Well, that was just like, I guess, one option they did there, where this whole island is them doing that to the nth degree, and it was the lost, the land of misfit toys. These are the ones that they're like, oh, this is just too fucked up to put in the park. We'll just leave them here.
But there was essentially only one there that was...
Well, yeah, for the most part, yeah. There's just one real, basically.
Otherwise, the rest of the dinosaurs were normal.
For the most part, yeah. And
it's like they tried to make it out to be this island of, like you call it misfit toys.
At least,
what are we going to see? Like, oh, just dinosaurs. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, yeah, they're all relative. I mean, there's new dinosaurs that we haven't got to see yet, but they're real.
But they aren't genetic,
Yeah, they're not fake.
Yeah.
They're not like the Indoraptor or Dominus Rex or anything outside of D-Rex. D-Rex is the only real, one that's not real, which we'll talk about D-Rex in the spoiler review.
We'll talk about it.
But yeah, and so they're going there, and they have to like get the DNA or blood of the 3 biggest dinosaurs because they're trying to cure heart disease, and they think that that's what's going to cure heart disease, is getting the blood because of the ventricles and science stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then that's what their mission is. And then there's a family who's boating way too fucking close to these islands, and they get stranded, and then they have to join the party, and boom, we got a Jurassic World movie. That's basically that's the thinnest of plot that I can give you without going too much further into it. I probably already gave you too much. But no, I disagree with how you thought about the first act. I think the first act does exactly what, and you're going to take this the wrong way and don't, but it does exactly what Jurassic Park did, which was it set the fucking table. It lets you kind of like with, and I'll give a props to a movie that we both loved earlier in the year. It did what it did with Sinners. It didn't fucking rush the movie. We know we're going to get dinosaurs, but we're going to have to give you guys time to understand these characters and learn who these characters are and why they do the way they do, who they are as people. I feel like we get that time with Scarlett Johansson. I feel like we get that time with Jonathan Bailey and Rupert Friend, who's basically playing evil Orlando Bloom. And that was fucking distracting the whole fucking movie. Was it not for you? He looks like evil Orlando Bloom the whole fucking movie. He looks like evil Orlando Bloom. But I know
you told me not to take this the wrong way, but I just want to just back up here a little bit, because I did find the entire first hour especially boring. But it wasn't because I'm like, oh, I want dinosaur action the whole time. It wasn't because of dinosaur action. It's because I can respect character setup and all this kind of things for when you're.
No, I felt that you were going to take it the wrong way when I said it was like Jurassic Park.
Oh no! Just in terms of I'm fine with setting up the characters and their motivations and learning about them and all these kind of things. But I just thought that it was not done in any kind of interesting way. I feel like that mostly they just tried to shove in like exposition all over the place, and for the most part, it didn't work for me. Jonathan Bailey's I actually enjoyed him and his character and his
I
whole
thought
thing.
Jonathan Bailey was great.
Yeah, but like
I loved his
Scarlett
character.
Johansson's thing, I wasn't really, I didn't feel they set her up very well.
I felt like once she
shows
got
up and does his thing.
I felt like once she got on the boat and Mahershala Ali was there with her, that's when we were really starting to develop her character, because she was with people who know her outside of this mission. And it was like the conversations with her and Mahershala Ali, I thought were some of the best like scenes outside of her.
Those did nothing for me. I think that was a big part of why I was bored by that first section.
I thought those scenes worked really, really well for me. The family, if there is a weak spot, it's the family. And it's not because of the little girl who Adrina Moreno. I thought she was actually great. I thought she was
the acting of it was fine.
No. What I'm saying is, like, one of the things that you and I get really frustrated with these movies is the kid actors can be either cool, like the first film, or fucking annoying. We're like, can we kill these kids, please? And I thought the youngest, Adrina Miranda, I don't know what her character name was because it's blank on IMDb. Bella. I thought she actually did a really good job. I actually really liked her performance for such a young actress. It was the teenagers that were fucking annoying. Obviously, Xavier, played by David Iacono, he's supposed to be that way. And every time I was like, well, kill this dude. It's like, but then he has redeeming things. I'm like, okay, let him go. Luna Blaze, who plays the older sister,
Teresa.
I couldn't get behind her as an actress. I hated her character throughout the whole film, and I don't think it's a writing problem with her. I think it was how she performed throughout the film. I feel like she was the weakest character in the movie.
I feel like I didn't have a problem with acting of anybody. I think that I
felt that there was never a moment in that movie where I gave a shit about her character, whether she lived or died. I feel like she was just a bitch to the dad to be just a teenage bitch. I didn't see any like real good sisterly, outside of the very, very beginning. I didn't see any good sisterly moments between her and Bella. Mm-hmm. And I just never really bought into her character. And if there was one character that I wanted to like die, it was her and Xavier. Just so that way I was like, I didn't have to have them on screen anymore. But at least Xavier, he had the comedic like moments.
Well, yeah, and I did like, I mean, we're not getting into spoilers or anything yet, but when they first introduced them, you kind of play it off like this guy's a fucking annoying asshole, and you want him to die. But then as it goes on, that you see a little bit more depth to it, and he kind of turns around, and you don't hate him as much anymore. And again, I don't think it was a matter of disliking any performances for me. It was just a matter of I feel like that this whole plot, these whole characters had no point to be in the movie.
We get to a point in the film, once we get into the second act, it becomes two separate movies. It becomes the Spec Op mission, and then it becomes family trapped on a desert on a dinosaur island. Mm-hmm. Because it's not the park. So we're not running into park shit. And this is probably one of the first times where, and if you're going, what about Dominion? No, fuck you. The Dominion was a fucking park, containment thing. This is the first time where outside of Lost World, where the dinosaurs were on their fucking own, living their lives. No restrictions, no cages, except for like the main center section. These dinosaurs are living their lives, doing their own thing, which I love, because it's no more of these like, oh yeah, they're all in this, they're all in their segregated little parts, and this is where the T-Rex is, this is where the raptors are. I loved that at any point any of these dinosaurs can come into play. And one thing that I think Gareth Edwards did fantastic in this, and I commend him for it, this is the first time for me since Jurassic Park that these dinosaurs felt scary and felt terrifying. And I also commend Alexander Desplat, who did the score, because his score through this movie. Yes, they played the John Williams theme a little too much. There's certain moments where they played it seemed like you should not be playing the theme at this moment.
If they were going to do Alexander Desplat doing this, I think that they just should have had him do his own score, or at least do like his take on some of these classic John Williams themes. Because every time they played a John Williams theme, it just felt like shoehorned in. Like,
well, there's one moment where I think it's Jonathan Bailey and Scarlett Johansson are talking on the boat together, and they're underscoring the Jurassic Park. I'm like, this is not where you play that.
Right.
This is not This is not the point that you play the Jurassic Park theme song. When dinosaurs are around, or you're going towards the island, that's when you play that. This is not that moment. But when the dinosaurs are there, and it is a frightful situation, like, yes, there's some fun moments with the dinosaurs, but this movie made you feel these dinosaurs are dangerous. They're going to kill you. And the music did a great job of making it go, because like every Jurassic World movie, everyone, and even 3 for the most part, when you see the dinosaurs, it's a fun action scene. It's like, yeah, this is cool. And there are these action moments in this movie where it's like, yeah, this is cool. But then there's like, oh, holy shit. Like, this would be horrible. And in terms of like, I would be losing my fucking mind if this happened. And I think Gareth Edwards did a great job of framing this, and certain scenes, which I can't fucking say, where I'm like, this is the first time since the first movie where I feel the actual danger that they're going through.
I didn't feel it any more than the last 5 movies.
And I didn't feel it I think outside of Jurassic World, like, because fuck the Indoraptor in the mansion. I was so just gone at that point that I didn't fucking care about that. But I loved how Gareth Edwards shot the dinosaurs in this. I love how he did his sequences for the dinosaurs in this. And I love also that, well, nope, I'm not going to say that's spoilery, so I'm going to retract what I was just going to say there. But I actually really enjoyed what we got with this. I was thoroughly surprised and happy because I was fully prepared to just be sitting like this the whole time. At 80% of the movie, I was like I was happy with what we got. And it did stir a rebirth in me, pun intended, with what we could get with the franchise. If they give Gareth Edwards a sequel to this with proper time and planning, I am going to be so excited for this sequel. I liked the characters that we got. They resonated with me. They apparently didn't with Brian. And I really enjoyed what we got with this film overall. And with you, it's at the bottom. With me, it's up near the top for the Jurassic franchise for me. I think it took what works with the best of the Jurassic franchise and made it its own to a point. And then when it got to points where it was like they're about to do something very cliche that every Jurassic World movie does, and it's going to make me roll my eyes, it goes, nope, we're not going to do that. We're gonna tease we're going to do it, but we're not going to do it. And I'm like, thank you so much for not doing what I thought you were going to do. Which, once again, got to wait till the spoilers so we talk about that. So every time I thought they were going to do a cliche thing, that made me go, they didn't. Which kept me on my toes because it made me not really know what we were going to go to next, which made me happy. There are some situations that bugged me in terms of the island is very, very big, but when the plot needs it to be, the island's very, very small. And I can't explain that any way until we get to spoiler, but there's like 3 to 4 instances where I'm like, there's no way person A could get to over here in that time frame because of the length of this fucking island, but yet somehow, bam, they're there. I'm like, no, that doesn't work.
So the movie can happen.
So the movie can happen, exactly. But overall, for me, I had fun with this. I can't wait to watch this again. And I left the theater happy and rejuvenated with the Jurassic franchise.
And I'm glad to hear that for you. I'm not sitting here thinking, fuck this franchise. It's more just like I'm disappointed by it. But you, knowing how much you love Jurassic Park, I'm glad that you were finally kind of rejuvenated your.
Like I said, when I watched Dominion, the whole time I was watching Dominion, I was just going, like, damn it, like, okay, that was a cool moment, but this sucks. This is disappointing as hell. I never felt that while watching this. The whole time watching, I was like, dude, is it because my expectations were so fucking low going into this that this is just working for me? Am I gonna watch this in 6 months and like not love it as much? Could fucking very well happen. But right now, at this moment, I fucking loved this movie, even with its little issues here and there, which once again, it's me nitpicking the fuck out of a franchise that I love, even though Brian loves to go, dude, you only love like 50% of the movies. Well, now it's over 50% because I love Rebirth. What did you end up giving it? Let me guess, 2.5, 3?
I toyed with a low 3.5. I ended up, for now, it's at a 3.
Okay. And me, because I have it up near the top, it's a 3. It's a 4.5 for me. It's like
Wow.
it's like at 85% ish right there. Like I said, what worked for me worked fucking great for me. The little nitpicky things that I had, it's not enough to like drop it fully. Like I said, you gotta remember, I'm such a sucker for dinosaur movies, and I gotta throw my entertainment in there. Now, if I'm going strictly off of just a movie and taking entertainment value out of it, yeah, it's probably a solid 4-star. But me feeling embraced by this and feeling the love of the Jurassic franchise back in my heart, it jumps it up to a 4.5 for me. And I put it probably number 3 in the Jurassic franchise, with Park, World, and then this and Lost World are like right there, because like things that I have issues with Lost World is kind of like equal to the same things I have issues with this, but I fucking loved both of them. So there you have it. 3-star for Brian, 4.5 for me. Literally the exact opposite of how it was with Dominion, which I want us to both enjoy a movie, a Jurassic Park movie, which we both did for World. I would love for us to both just be on the same page. Yeah, so that's the non-spoiler. Okay? We're going to go to the spoiler conversation. We have plenty to talk about. It's going to be a very interesting conversation since he didn't really love it and I did. So this is going to be a very interesting conversation. But once, like I said, this movie doesn't come out for another 8 days. So if you guys want to get spoiled, stay with us, continue to watch. If you guys don't, pause this, come back and watch us in a week after you watch Jurassic World, and join us in the spoiler discussion and let us know what your thoughts are as you're going through. Unless you guys already watched it on Monday with us, and congratulations, stick with us and have fun. Here is your spoiler warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're still fucking here, welcome to the Jurassic World Rebirth or spoiler review. If you're still here and you haven't watched the movie, you guys are a fucking masochist. Okay, let's get the one thing that I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it, and that's the D-Rex. Did it not look like a fucking Rancor?
It looked to me like exactly what I thought, because I think the mouth
It
is
looked
special.
like the Cloverfield monster and the Rancor had a fucking baby.
See, for me, I called it a cross between the Rancor and the newborn alien from Resurrection.
I wouldn't have gone that far.
Because it does have those two extra little arms in here, as well as the big ones, and it's just but it absolutely had Rancor all over it.
But it's 1,000. It's in the face, and then the little hand. It so looks like Rancor from Star Wars. Yeah. I think they did. I loved how they set it up. I think the opening sequence did a great job of instilling fear into it. But but we all knew what it looked like already, and that was the one thing that I was like going into the movie going, oh, God, the fucking D-Rex. Like,
well, let me say this. I will say that I'm glad that it was the only kind of weird hybrid dinosaur in this, because if the whole movie had been either Dr. Moreau and all the weird little, crossbreeding, it would have been like, what the fuck is this? This isn't even Jurassic Park anymore. Or Jurassic World, whatever you want to call it.
Hey, it's better than what their initial plan was, which was human dino hybrids.
But he was essentially the only one, basically, and that I was fine with that. What I had a problem with was that opening scene was so fucking dumb, because
it was so Final Destination, which I thought you would have been okay with.
Dumb way. It's like, first of all, a Snickers wrapper that apparently gets sucked into like a doorway somehow short circuits the doorway. This little piece of paper somehow can short circuit this doorway, and their systems on this big, lockdown research facility apparently are such that, oh, wait, if this door can't close, we should just open everything. Everything's like unlocked. And but the thing is, if this was a comedy, if this was a Final Destination movie, I can go with it. But this is supposed to be like a serious franchise, and it's like, to have that Snickers wrapper shut this down, it was just so fucking dumb.
But see, even in spite of all that, though, nothing really escaped in that moment. Nothing got out.
Well, I wonder if they even have anything else there, because the only other ones we saw besides him were like the ones that were like already dead in those back to tank.
The D-Rex did not escape though at that moment. It's just the one dude who caused everything. The fucking Wayne Knight of it all. He got fucking eaten for it. So once again, you fucked up and played a stupid game. I mean, all he did was eat a fucking snack. But dude, you fucking littered in like a built like a lab where everyone's in fucking like suits. You're a fucking moron. You deserve to die at that point. But I think in terms of like setting the landscape of how terrifying this thing could be, like which they did that with Indominus Rex too. I mean, they did a good job of establishing how fucking terrifying this dinosaur could be. But this wasn't a dinosaur. This was a fucking kaiju monster. This is not a dinosaur at all. And what I love that they didn't do, because and I know I'm jumping all the way to the fucking end. Just so we can get the whole D-Rex thing, because you basically have him in the beginning and you have him in the end. I'm glad that he wasn't like this, like the Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park 3, where he kept popping up and they escaped him and popped up and escaped him. It's like, no, you had him at the beginning, you set the table for him, and then you didn't have to deal with him until the fucking last like 10 minutes of the movie. Like, I'm glad that was what it was, and he wasn't sprinkled fucking throughout.
And they didn't do the same thing of like, oh well, at the end the T-Rex will come and fight him instead.
That's exactly where I was going with this. Yeah. In terms of the cliche moments, and then I thought it was going to happen. I thought when Duncan was sacrificing himself and he had the flare, and he was like laying back, like accepting his fate, and you could tell he was behind, like there was trees behind him. I was like, the fucking T-Rex is going to pop out, and he's going to fight the D-Rex, which. I'm sorry, I love the T-Rex, but they made that D-Rex like fucking mad. There's no way the T-Rex would have been able to fight it. And I was like, please don't let the T-Rex come out. Please don't let the T-Rex come out. And they didn't. We did not have a big dino fight in this movie. No dinosaurs fought each other in this film. The dinosaurs all kind of stayed the fuck away from one another. They never fought. They never got and even the dinosaurs that were near each other, they were the same species. They never, like, even the raptors in Jurassic Park, if they got too close to her, they snapped at each other. The dinosaurs all stayed in their own fucking little, like,
and if they were close, like the Spinosaurus were helping the Mosasaurus.
Exactly. And thank you for actually doing the Spinosaurus correctly in this movie, because that's one of the fucking things I hate about Jurassic Park 3. The Spinosaurus is smaller than the T-Rex, motherfuckers. It is not a threat to the T-Rex, but they're like, no, we got to have something bigger and more dangerous. Hey, let's do a Spinosaurus because it looks terrifying, and we'll make it bigger than the T-Rex, and then we'll have it beat the T-Rex. Fuck you. No, you actually had the Spinosaurus the correct size, and it was used basically kind of as like like you said, a helper to the Mosasaurus. That first scene where they tagged the Mosasaurus, I got such like Jaws and like Godzilla -1 vibes from that. Why are you yawning? Fuck you. I love that moment.
I could tell there were scenes like that, and then like the raft sequence and things like that, which I could tell they thought were exciting.
Oh, the raft. Okay.
But they could tell they thought they were exciting, but it just wasn't for me.
They worked for me. And then we got the actual Spinosaurus, Mosasaurus scene, which I thought was like, oh shit. Could have done without the Rupert Friend, I'm evil, which technically he didn't like let her fall. Do you honestly think he would have gotten up in time to grab her before she fell? No. He could. I don't think he would have gotten up there.
If he stopped her from calling for help, and he did not try to help her. It wasn't like he tried to kill her.
Yeah, he just let nature.
It wasn't like Paul Reiser and Aliens who like released the aliens to stop them from telling people this plan.
Yeah, no, the boat tipped. She fell off the side. He fell down. She said, "Help me." He looked at her, thought about it for a second. By the time he would have gotten up and gotten to her, she would have been gone anyway. And then it became the whole crux of he's evil. I was like, he's really not. And that was the other thing. Once again, exerting expectations. I felt like I was like, okay, he's got a gun now. He's gonna eventually do this and like go full evil and abandon them and leave them, which technically he did by getting in the car, but it wasn't in terms of like fuck them.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in terms of like fuck them, they turned on me. It wasn't like that. It was more they needed to get out of there. He knows there's a boat. He got in the thing and he drew that thing away from Zora. Probably wasn't his mindset But they once again, they never had Martin go full bad guy. They really didn't. He never like held them at gunpoint. He had a gun, but he never once like pointed it at them saying, everyone, he's like, I'm in charge. He's like, look, I'm keeping the suitcase. This is mine. So once again, inverted expectations of going a cliche route. They didn't do that. Martin never goes full dark side. He's a dick, yes, but he never goes full dark side, which made me happy. Once again, taking taking cliche moments from the franchise and didn't go full with it. But the D-Rex itself, I mean, it's what it was. It's like, look, okay, this is clearly a monster. It's not a dinosaur, but it didn't overtake the movie. It was in 2 sequences. It didn't ruin the film by any means. It's not like the Indoraptor or the Dominus Rex where it's literally just fucking destroying everything. It's has its little section. It attacked them. It didn't fight any other dinosaurs. It didn't dominate any dinosaurs. And then it fucking just went away and did its own thing. Fine, cool. I'm okay with that. It looks ugly as shit, and it was a bad concept idea to put in the movie, but it wasn't enough to piss me off because it didn't fuck with the film at all. And then now the one thing I know people are going to be fucking furious about is that the one thing I hated about Jurassic Park 3 the most was that they pwned the T-Rex. The fucking Velociraptors got their asses pwned in this movie. If you're a Raptor fan, which most people are, you're gonna be mad at this movie because you get the Raptors for what, 10 seconds? Not even that.
Yeah.
But we did get. I'm blanking on the dinosaurs' names right now, but you got basically the bird version of the Raptors in this. And yes, they did kind of redo the scene.
Quetzalcoatlus.
Yes, thank you. So yes, you did get Raptors with wings. So you got your Raptors in this movie. You just didn't get the Raptors you wanted. You got the different ones because these things basically were Raptors with wings. And frankly, smarter. The Raptors never would go into the ducks and go after people, mainly because they didn't think they could fit. These Raptors were like, fuck you, I'm going in, I'm going after them. I think you could tell, like, okay, they're doing the kitchen sequence inside the gas station, convenience store kind of thing. It didn't overstay its welcome. It didn't overtake the whole scene like it did in the first film, which was a great fucking scene. But it wasn't like, look, we're not
a chance to promote Snickers some more, as well as Dr. Pepper, who they have a tie-in with.
Yes, they did. But like they didn't like do the same beats. Like she hid in the freezer. It wasn't like she did the mirror thing, like the reflection thing, but it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna lock them in the freezer. They didn't do the cliche moments. They could have. They didn't. But I actually thought the bird raptors, which I know it hates me. I hate myself right now calling them bird raptors and not their real name. But
since raptor means bird of prey.
Yes. But I thought that they were a fine substitute for the Raptors. We got the Dilophosaurus. Granted, it was really, really quick, but we still got him. So we got the OGs in the movie. They weren't in it as long as maybe everyone wanted. I was fine with what we got of them. I thought the T-Rex got to have an awesome moment. And I was like, after that moment was on, I was like, I will be okay if the Rex is not seen again. And we didn't get him again. The T-Rex was on vacation, man. He just wanted to fucking sleep. The T-Rex was chilling. Y'all can't... That girl... Okay. We are, what? I think they said 30, 32, 33 years, I think, since Jurassic Park happened. I think they said that at the very beginning in the opening crawl. You can't tell me that people in the world don't know about T-Rexes and how T-Rexes, see and all this shit. And then this girl's like, I'm gonna.
Well, apparently they're so common and so well known that people are bored of them. So yeah,
exactly. So don't tell me that this dumbass teenage girl is like, there's a sleeping T-Rex 15 feet from me. Let me drag this fucking massive raft making all this noise, and then let me open it, and then be shocked that the T-Rex wakes up. And then the T-Rex isn't even bothered with them. They can see the Rex is right there. Let's make all the fucking noise in the world and jump on the Rex. You deserve to die at this point because you guys are fucking idiots. This family And it's one of those things where it's like, I got so frustrated with the family because they did how it was Jurassic Park for dummies. How stupid can you guys be? But it's like, you know how many stupid people are in this world? I guarantee you, these people would fucking do this shit. And it's like once again, it's like I can get super mad and hate this movie for that, or I can go, yep, I can totally see that happening. I wouldn't have pulled it over the fucking dock like she did. I would have dragged it on the fucking ground where it's quieter. Dipshit. But I thought the T-Rex sequence, I thought was awesome. I really enjoyed that. And apparently that's a scene in the book, of the very first book.
For the first, yeah.
Yeah, so, rehashing something that they never got to use in the first movie, I thought it was a pretty awesome sequence. And I'm glad that was what we got of Rexy. I'm glad we didn't get any more out of him. I'm glad that he didn't come in to try to be the fucking hero like he has in every other fucking movie. T-Rex was sleeping, you woke it up, it saw food, you got out of its reach, it fucking left. Cool, that's it. Dilophosaurus was going to attack, saw the Rex, fucking gone. Raptors, I love that they were like gonna, and then they got fucking pwned. So I was like, okay. Would I have been upset if they had killed Xavier at that moment? No. I would have been okay with that. Because why did he fucking go so fucking far away to go pee? But like I said, the OG dinosaurs, I thought, outside of the Raptors, got their moments and didn't overstay their welcome. And they utilized the time with the other dinosaurs to bring in some new ones. I think they utilized the I'm blanking on the flying one's name off the top of the head. I thought that sequence was, yes, I thought that sequence was actually really well done. I liked it better than the Jurassic Park 3 one when they were in like the fucking aviary. And once again, we had a cool action sequence, and then when they were pulling up the French dude Leclerc, and then all of a sudden it was like he's in its mouth. It's like, oh shit, okay, now we got a horror part of it. I think Gareth Edwards balanced that horror aspect very, very well. I know I've been talking a lot. Brian, take over.
No, I mean there was parts of sequences that I enjoyed very much. Like the raft sequence, there were some good parts of it. That's the strongest raft in the world. Apparently, nothing can pop that thing. Good
yeah, I was like, how's that thing not popping?
Yeah, he full on bit that a couple times. It was still floating just fine.
Oh yeah, that thing just was the most indestructible raft ever.
But and then the sequence you're talking about when they go and climb up this giant cliff. And they get up there. Well, actually, they go up there and they lower themselves down, and they find this apparently ancient temple from people who used to live there. This
is one of the parts I was talking about where they made the island real small all of a sudden. But
I'll get there in a second.
What you're gonna say?
But that's that whole sequence when they pull him up and he's in the mouth. And I thought, some of that stuff was good. But then it's like, okay, so then Jonathan Bailey gets dropped, and he hits some branches and stuff and lands in the water. He's fine. In the time it takes him to drop from the top of this cliff down to the water, Scarlett Johansson gets to rappel down, and two other people go down a flight of stairs that was there the whole time, apparently.
Yeah, because that's what I was saying, because they say when they're setting them up that they're going 500 something feet down, because Jonathan Bailey's talking about his rock climbing thing in his gym or what have you. And they're like, oh yeah, that's just 25 more times like that.
That was just from where they were to where they were able to enter that nest. That's not counting the rest of the way down.
Let's say Jonathan Bailey drops under 200 feet. Granted, branches and all, that's still a pretty hard fucking fall.
Yeah.
That means that Duncan and Martin had to run down 700 feet.
Of weaving staircase.
Exactly. Not knowing where the fuck they're going, mind you. But that's the thing too, is like because Henry falls, and he's maybe on the ground for about 15 seconds. Then here comes Scarjo, which her repelling, I'll buy that one. Her repelling all the way down, she at that point she's going. She has no fear because she's Spec Ops. But those two, no, there's no fucking chance in hell you want to be that fucking fast. Because it was like the same thing with Okay, let's go ahead and talk about this. And the concept of time and space of this island. So that was one instance. Second instance was when Duncan runs off with the D-Rex. They're going this way. Zora and everyone's going this way with the boat. Yet somehow Duncan gets all the way the fuck over here, and then they catch him up to him. Motherfucker, they're gone. There's no way that they turn around and he's just like right there. I'm like, no, you are so fucking far away at that point. Like, yes, they would have seen the flare, but then it's like you had to have cut probably like 30 minutes there because there's no way you would have turned around and like, boom, there's Duncan. I'm like, no.
Well, they weren't driving that far. He led them away. They started driving away, and they weren't gone that far when they saw the flare. And they turned around where the flare came from.
But you know how far away Duncan and the D-Rex went away from them?
I don't think he went that far.
I enough to the point that they couldn't see the D-Rex anymore because you couldn't see the D-Rex anymore.
Well, they went into the jungle and they came back out to the water.
I don't know. I felt like there's no way Duncan would have gotten.
I do feel like they chickened out. I feel like it was like Duncan was going to sacrifice himself because he'd clearly gone through a whole lot. Everyone that he brought to the table, his whole team.
And that was the other thing too, is that I loved that Mahershala Ali's character felt the weight of every one of his people's deaths. It wasn't just like, oh, the French woman died. Okay. Oh, the French dude died. Okay. And it's like, no, like ScarJo's like, okay, that sucks. But that wasn't her people. That was his people.
Yeah. And so I felt like he was going to sacrifice himself. And I'm like, okay, good for him to sacrifice himself. Especially because, he clearly had a thing for, with his son. He had the picture with him.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So he wanted to make sure that girl was safe, the little girl. He wanted to protect her. And so I'm like, okay, this makes sense. He's going to sacrifice himself. And then they kind of chicken out at the end, which that's part of the problem with this movie is that they didn't because it's such a small cast, there wasn't enough dinosaur fodder. You know what I mean? It's like there was only only a couple people died in the boat early on, and that was almost it. Well, except for the one that got eaten by the raptor on that cliff.
Ed Skrein, which first off, he was barely in the movie.
Which I don't understand because he's like one of the recognizable faces. Not everybody knows his name, but he's a face that people recognize.
Yeah.
And he hardly ever gets to play a good guy. So I'm like, good, he gets to play a good guy, and they eat him like 10 minutes later.
I would not have if anything, they maybe everyone could have survived the boat attack. Because it's like, okay, well, they're on the boat, they're being like I don't like the girl dying on the beach, that was a good kill. I wouldn't have killed Ed Skrein. At least not there yet. I would have held him off later because I was like, damn, they killed him off that fast. You could have hired anybody for that role. Unless he just really wanted to be in a Jurassic World movie and it was like, dude, you can kill me like right away. I just want to be in it. Because I felt like the French, if anyone was gonna die first, was the French dude. The French dude was like, I'm asleep at the wheel, and it's like if anyone should die right away, it's him. And then Ed Skrein should have like survived a little while, maybe died on the cliff during the that one part. But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I was fully prepared to have the boyfriend die.
I thought he would too. Yep.
But then as soon as he jumped off the boat to save the daughter, I was like, damn it! Like why did you guys make me like have to like him for that moment?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like they started out with like, you really just like this guy, and then they made you like him, and then they went back to making him be an asshole again, and they went back to like him. It's like, what do you want us to feel for this guy?
Yeah, it's like, are you wanting us to kind of be okay that he dies? And it's like, and then the Raptors came like, okay, he's gonna die. Okay, this is gonna be a cool death at least. And then he didn't die. Okay, let me keep peeing. And I'm like, okay, so he's the comedic person, so he's not gonna die because he's bringing all the comedic comedy, and you can't kill the comedy at least until the very fucking end.
Well, and then I flipped the other side where I thought, okay, you can go somewhere deeper with him because, like, when the father's, was talking to him, and he was like, he's like, you're a good guy or whatever was he saying? And he's like, oh, you don't know me or something like that. And it's like I thought, oh, there's some darker side to him, something we're gonna learn. No more to it. Just
no. I mean, granted, if they have sequels, they can go a little further. But at that point, do you want that? I don't think.
I definitely don't want the family back in because it's like they were just the.
I don't know. You probably are gonna have them back.
No purpose.
That was going back to the Big Island Smile Island. I really enjoyed Dolores. First off, hold on. Let me finish. You totally missed out on not calling her Sarah. They should have called her Sarah. That was a huge whiff by not calling her Sarah. There is no way. They left Dolores on the side of the river before the T-Rex attack. Then they went downriver. Then they got to the compound. There is no way Dolores would have made it all the way there.
Yeah, Dolores just shows up there. So Dolores is fucking stupid, and the only reason Dolores is in the movie is because they wanted their Grogu. They were like, "Oh, look at the cute little thing that we can make plushes of, and we can market."
But it didn't overtake the movie. If it was Grogu, then Dolores would have jumped in front of the D-Rex, going and like distracted it. It didn't do that.
Well, that's just it. You thought Dolores would play some kind of part in this.
No, it's just a cutesy dinosaur.
But you're just there for no reason except to be cutesy. It served no purpose. And then you get to the end of the movie where Bella's gonna take her home with her. Which, first of all, apparently tearing her away from her family, who's somewhere in this island.
She did take her.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like, first of all, she's tearing away from her family, which was somewhere on this island. And then on top of that, she's taking her back to America, where guess what? They said dinosaurs can't live. So she is dooming this dinosaur to death. She has sentenced little Dolores to a death sentence.
Dolores is going to live because she was fed Twizzlers.
If anything, I would have killed her.
You know, because when she first I'm like, don't feed the baby that. That'll kill it. The sugar high alone.
Well, she's going to take it back to America and let it die anyway. So it's like, what?
That's why I feel like the family might be back if they make a sequel, because Dolores is like, well, then you're just going to wonder what the fuck happened to Dolores. You know, it's kind of like with Blue. You established a dinosaur. You gave it a fucking name. Now we're going to be like, well, what happened to Blue? What happened? Now we're going to be like, what happened to Dolores? Once again, you should have just called it fucking Sarah, and I would have been like even more happier for it. I think it was harmless. It didn't overtake the movie. Once again, this dinosaur's got to be the fastest fucking little dinosaur, because it just somehow always knew where they were. That one scene though, it did bug me, because it's like the campfire scene where Ruben's talking to Xavier, and Ruben's like, "I'm gonna go take a piss," and then in 2 seconds flat, Ruben's, and then here comes Dolores stepping on him, and he didn't wake up. And I'm like, how the fuck are you asleep? And then the dinosaur goes and lays down next to Bella, and then she just falls. I'm like, I'm sorry, I have a baby dinosaur next to me. I'm not going to bed. No, I'm awake.
Maybe they're just so tired from running this whole time. And
I don't care, dude. If a baby dinosaur is next to me, I'm not going to sleep, man. I'm staying up and I'm hanging out there. But it was a little unbelievable that Ruben passed out so fucking soon. Now, granted, he hurt his knee, but it was one of those things where it's like, dude, you were
more reason why he can't sleep. He's wide awake. He's in pain.
I was like, Dolores stepped on you, and you didn't even react, dude. And that was like within 30 seconds of you.
I just had to roll my eyes every time Dolores was on screen. It's like I don't understand the point of this. Besides, let's put something cute.
It was there for the kids. It was there for the kids.
Exactly, and it doesn't. It's. I hate things that are just blatantly just marketing, essentially.
I didn't have a problem with Dolores, because I don't think it ever got to a point where it was Grogu. It was there to be cutesy. It was there to be Dolores. Now, if Dolores then tried to attack bigger dinosaurs to defend the family, then yes, then it would have gone a little too far. It never did. It never did. So it stayed in the lane that what it was a baby dinosaur that looked at Bella like a mother. And I
thought if anything that Dolores would have like led her family there, and the adult Triceratopses could defend them or something, but that never happened. So
no, I would have been okay with that, because the whole point, that's what I kept wondering too, is like when the teenage daughter like shoot it away. I'm like, don't fucking shoot the baby away. That baby's not doing anything to you, you bitch. I was like, you're just gonna bring the mama towards you and piss her off. That's exactly what happened in Lost World. Was that like she was playing with the baby Stegosaurus, and then she scared it when she was changing her fucking camera, and then here came mama. Like, you were gonna, like, I fucking could not stand the fucking teenage daughter. She's seriously like the most unlikable character. And like, we're worried about a fucking dinosaur attack, and here he's coming right after Martin because he didn't save her from the fucking water. And she's being loud as shit. And it's like, shut the fuck up. This is not the time right now. Like, seriously. Like, stop trying to act like you're such a fucking badass. You haven't done shit this entire movie except almost get everyone killed. But yeah, and then the other, once again, Long Island, Short Island. Martin drives off, and he's going downhill to where the dock is. They go into the little tunnels, have a full-on conversation plan of what to do, and then somehow beat Martin, who's in a car, down to the tunnels, where they had no idea where they're going. That was another thing where it's like, I'm like, wait, no.
The only thing I can explain that is that the tunnels maybe led directly there, and he had to take who knows where the roads went to get down.
That was, like I said, that was the only thing where it was like he was having to probably maybe go around and around and around down, but it was one of those things where like he still is in a fast car and they're on foot. You still shouldn't have beat him there.
While we're on the subject of Martin, so Martin gets eaten. We see him handcuff the thing to his wrist, and then he ends up, which you knew was going to eventually be, they're going to have the hand. I totally saw the hand coming. And sure enough,
absolutely.
Half an hour later it happens, and they eat him and drop him, and there's his arm like up to here, still holding on to the case. And then she pulls the case and walks away with it. It's like it's still handcuffed to his hand. All you just pull out of his hand, and yet somehow the handcuff disappeared. How'd they get that off his hand? They never explained that. I'm nitpicking.
Right,
I'm like, what the fuck?
No, you are right. I was like, oh fuck yeah.
It wouldn't go up the arm because the upper arm is thicker, and it didn't go over the hand. All she did is pry it out of his hand.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong about that.
Anyway, that's totally just nitpick. It's just something I observed.
Yeah, that's like just an error. That's
one thing I don't know if maybe I missed something. The whole MacGuffin of the movie, the whole fetch quest of like we must get these 3 things from these 3 different dinosaurs that we need to get one from we need to get samples from the 3 biggest dinosaurs in the island, one from the air, one from the sea, one from the land. Why? Did I miss them explaining why? I understand getting it from the largest dinosaurs because they had the strongest hearts, but why was there 1 air, 1 sea, 1 land? When there are multiple ones on land,
I don't know if there was a reason for why. I think there was just the 3 biggest, and they just happened to be on air and sea. And
T-Rex is bigger than Quetzalcoatlus.
Maybe not when it's fully spread out, but also the D-Rex is bigger than than 2 of them. But I don't think they knew that D-Rex fucking existed. Plus, it's not a real dinosaur; it's a fucking freak show.
I was just wondering. I mean, I know it's just one of those things, so the movie can happen. Yeah. But I was like, I understand you want to get samples from dinosaurs, but it just seemed like why there had to be 1 air, 1 sea, 1 land, which they specifically did say that.
I don't think there was necessarily a reasoning for why they were that way, other than I think that they were technically the 3 biggest dinosaurs on the island, and it was just a coincidental thing that it was air and what. Because the whole exposition part of that is explained when they're in the museum,
right?
But no, there's never a reasoning for sea and land. I think they're just the 3 biggest. I do think they did, and granted, we get this in almost every movie, and I'm a sucker for it every time. I thought the Titanosaurus scene was beautiful, and yes, I know we've seen it done many times, but I thought it was a very beautifully well done scene. That scene got me, but that's because that's the little boy.
Well, it was trying to get the marvel of that first Jurassic Park scene when you see the dinosaurs and all looking.
And I thought they did.
And they did something, but I felt like it dragged on too long. And the whole thing where they're like snuggling and the tails are wrapping around each other. I'm like,
no, I thought they were about to fuck. I was like, I just thought what the fuck? Like they're distracted. And I went to her like, they about to fuck? She goes, I think so. I go, well, we're about to hit a totally different direction of Jurassic franchise.
I would have bumped up my rating by a star if all of a sudden they started.
I would have been like, well, yeah, they're gonna. I was like, you might want to shoot it somewhere else besides the neck at that point because you're gonna get some good blood flow there. But I literally was like, are they about to fuck? Holy shit, are we actually going to have fucking dinosaurs fucking in this movie?
Oh, yeah, I thought that was pretty overdone. And the fact that, like, first of all, they're in this field, and then, like, there's nothing there, and then all of a sudden there's, like, a tail, and there's a giant Titanosaurus, whatever it's called there. And next thing you know, there's, like, 50 of them, and I'm like, did you not see the other 50?
See, here's the funny thing with me. Obviously, my brain remembers, and I'm like, they're going into the tall grass. You don't go into the tall grass! That's where the raptors live! Not when that motherfucker's there, apparently, because the raptors aren't gonna fuck with that thing. But yeah, the whole time I was like, that's where the fucking that's where the raptors are. You don't go there. But we didn't get that. But no, man, I said, I thought, and of course, obviously, the Brachiosaurus in New York, that was sad. Did you catch the Easter egg in that scene?
Which one? In that scene?
In the New York scene?
I don't think I did.
It was Crichton Middle School.
Oh.
Yeah, and then what was it? Henry said that he was trained.
He studied under Ellen Grant.
Yeah, but though there was one other piece of information that Martin said that made me hate Fallen Kingdom that much more. He said every species. Oh
this
my!
is worth
You caught it.
$72 million.
And they were selling fucking dinosaurs for $3-4 million. Fuck you, Fallen Kingdom.
As soon as they started tossing numbers, my first thought was fucking Fallen Kingdom and the fucking best bargain auction you've ever been to. And my next thought was, oh, Sean's gonna love this.
Oh, I caught that immediately, and I went, oh! That was literally my reaction. Was I immediately just got tense and angry, and like, oh, this solidifies my anger. Thank you so much. It's like my anger is justified. Yeah, when Martin said that, I was like, thank you so much, because everyone's like, dude, it's just a fuck. No, it's not. It's a fucking dinosaur. You don't. The Los Angeles Lakers just got sold for $10 billion. You know, you could buy a fucking entire species of hundreds of dinosaurs for that kind of money. Apparently, in Jurassic World franchise, that movie that made me so mad yet so happy at the same time. Because everyone always got so like, Sean, you're weird. No, I'm fucking not.
So I'm agreed from the beginning about that. As much as I still enjoy Fallen Kingdom, I agreed with you on that.
Like, people stopped gaslighting me. I was fucking true. I was fucking right. But yeah, man, I had fun with it, man.
And mine, I mean, for me, 3 stars is like, it was fine. I enjoyed it, but it was just, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It's right there in the middle. And that's how I felt about this movie. And I like I said, I'm truly glad that you loved as much as you did, because you've been more down on the franchise for the most part than I have. For me, I was just like, I guess, and it wasn't even expectations. Like I said, I kept my expectations low. The addition of Gareth Edwards, you know, I was happy about that until I realized the schedule. I'm like, this is not going to be a Gareth Edwards film, and it really wasn't.
I think he did the best he could with the time given to him. I feel,
but I would love to see a Gareth Edwards film where
that's what I'm saying. If
where he
this
gets to
does
write
well,
it, or at least participate in the writing of it, where he gets to develop it the way he wants to develop and make a film. So I don't know if we'll see a sequel to this, but if we do, I hope that you give him the time and resources.
Let's put it this way: how busy was your Secret Movies audience?
Mine was not very busy at all. Mine had about, I'd say mine was less than a quarter full. But things I've seen like screenshots and stuff, a lot of theaters that were packed full because word got out. Mine was
sold out.
Yeah.
I'm glad I bought my tickets on Saturday, because mine was sold out. They knew.
Apparently word didn't get around my town, so.
Yeah, because I walked in and because obviously those theaters aren't big theaters, because people, you know, they're not supposed to be. And we walked in and
mine was in one of the biggest though, so yeah.
No, mine was in one of the smallest ones. And Kimmy was like, "Wow." I go, "Yeah." I was like, "I think people got the memo. I think people do, because like Secret Movies aren't they're like maybe 20, 30 people are in it. Like there's hundreds of people in this theater right now. People know." Mm-hmm. And because once again, like when the announcement came on, everyone was like, duh, we know it's Jurassic World. Whereas like if you didn't, be like, oh, it's like, no, everyone here fucking knows.
I had one lady in the back is like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's like, no, we all know what we're watching.
Yeah.
I think this movie's going to do huge. And because of that,
you know what? It's funny because I was thinking while I'm watching this, now hearing you enjoy it so much more than I do, maybe that does have more hope for what general audiences will feel. I was watching this thinking, I wish I could revise my summer predictions, because I think it's going to make a lot less money than I thought. Because I think that I don't think this one will have the repeat viewings that previous films had.
I still think at the end of the day, the top 3 is still going to be the top 3. If anything is going to creep in and take out one of the top 3, it might be Superman. It's not. I don't think it's going to be Fantastic Four. I think if anything's going to creep in and take one of the top 3 out between How to Train Your Dragon and Lilo and Stitch, it's going to be Superman. And even then, I still don't think it will. I still think it's going to be Lilo, Stitch, How to Train Your Dragon, and Jurassic World at the end of the summer.
The only thing I would add is the dark horse of if F1 becomes becomes the dad movie of the summer, like Top Gun Maverick, then I would say
F1 is a dark horse, but I still don't think.
I don't think it will, but I
don't think it will, because it doesn't have the Top Gun legacy attached to it. Mm-hmm. And it's just its own separate film. And I think that helped a lot with Top Gun Maverick, is that it was Top Gun.
And also I forced you to go domestic. If we were doing worldwide, F1 would be top 3, maybe even. because F1's huge in like Europe.
Oh yeah,
But in the
especially
US domestic,
yeah.
it'll stay down.
Yeah, but no, I still think it's at the end of the day, it's still going to be the 3-horse race, and then like I said, maybe Superman might creep in, but like I said, we're still what 3 weeks out from that.
Something like that, yeah.
Isn't July 11th? So week
Yeah,
after.
I'm going to
World,
screen on the 8th, but I think it opens the 11th. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're still 3 weeks out from that. Anything else before we end this?
No, I think we covered it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, huge win for me. Disappointment for Brian. This will be interesting to see where we're at the end of the year. I think it's obviously going to be high on my ratings when we get next week when we shoot our half-year review. It'll be interesting to see where we're at the end of the year. Is it going to be a Batman thing where it's going to, he's going to have his most disappointed film of the year, and I'm going to be like, fuck you, right? I don't know. I hope not. But for the people who are here and the people who maybe have come back and watched this, what were your guys' thoughts on Jurassic World Rebirth? Yes, the Rebirth serves no purpose. Just call it Jurassic World 4. Or Jurassic Park 7, whatever you want to fucking call it.
Or give it a name. Give it a name that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, Jurassic World still makes sense because it's in the world, but Rebirth it doesn't make sense. But yeah, what were your guys' thoughts? Did you like it, dislike it? Did you guys have this? Do you guys lean more towards Brian's side of like, just it just didn't work for you, or you guys on my side where you kind of feel rejuvenated by the franchise when maybe you were hurt by the last 2? Or were you guys, Brian, where it's like you liked them all and then this is the one that just was kind of the stinker for you? Let us know in the comments below. Coming up next, like I said, F1 is coming out. We're probably going to hold that off with our end of month movie reviews with that and How to Train Your Dragon and everything else that came out in June that we didn't talk about already. And then also, once again, we are at the end of June, which means we are through the first 6 months of 2025. So our half-year review of the first 6 months of 2025 are going to come up, where we will be given our most surprising films, most disappointing films, and best and worst films of 2025 so far. I think we both are over 60-some movies watched this year alone. So we do have a very assorted list. It's not like we've only watched 20 movies and we're ranking. We are over 60 for the year, so which is more for me. Normally I'm like 40s at this point. I'm actually gotten a good chunk of them watched here. Brian, you're around your normal range right now, right? Like 70-some films?
Roughly.
Yeah, so we'll be having some big movies or some big videos coming out here in the next 10 days, since we're still over a week out before we will be shooting these videos. But stay tuned with us. And like I said, if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment. Let us know what your thoughts on Jurassic World Rebirth were. We are now past our most anticipated film of the summer. Still a lot of movies to come. We got Fantastic Four, Superman, F1. We got some very awesome films to come. I cannot wait to see the way the rest of the summer plays out. But we are the Movie Crusaders. I'm Sean Waskrug. That is Brian Michaels. And until next time, in case we don't see you, go watch some movies. Go have some fun.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.